Sonics. Here we go.
Yeah, really. It'll be a wild time. There we are. There we are up and at 'em. It's Mikey and Vinnie, a little after 10 o'clock here on a Wednesday morning.
It could be wacky. It could be wonderful. It could be wild and woolly, but a Wednesday all the same.
Could be a warmongering, a
Or warm. It
warmongering
could be a
Saturday. We
warm
could have
Wednesday. The heat wave on the West Coast is something.
it's good. Yeah, it's going to be warmer. We're supposed to. I mean, we got up to almost 90 yesterday, which is unseasonably warm for this part of the country.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to hit 90 again today. I mean, it's one of those days where if you have breathing problems. Luckily, I don't think we're seeing too much effect from the Canadian fires. A little bit, but not much.
It's mostly going east.
Yeah, we're back east. It's like really. Yeah. So, of course, Donald Trump put 50% tariff on smoke. So
That boy.
look at
He's
it. Look at it.
he's
That
terrible.
boy is touched.
He's
That boy
text
is
already.
touched.
It's impossible to factor. Oh, here comes Big Tomas. All right, find a spot. Find a spot, big boy.
Yeah, well, you heard the show. He wants to put his 2 cents in, I guess.
His 2 cents are worth more than my 2 cents.
You know what, Michael? Worth more than mine too. It's funny. I got 9 million things on my mind because I got, as you know, I'm heading down to the Bay Area this weekend for the KUSF reunion, and which I totally expect, which I'm really looking forward to because there's some people there that I haven't seen in a long, long time, and and even if nobody except my friend Laurie Gates was going, it would be worth the drive just to go down there. So,
And explain
but
to our viewers what KUSF once was.
well, KUSF once was probably the coolest radio station in San Francisco. I wasn't around for the KMPX days and the SFX days, but those were corporate stations. KUSF was a college station that was attached to the University of San Francisco, and but it was a college station and license only.
Mhm.
Not everybody that worked there, but many of the people that worked there were from the music industry, not college. It was a commercial. It was a non-commercial radio station that had people from the music industry, and somebody at the University of San Francisco had the brains to figure out that if we mix these people, these college kids, with people that were involved in the music industry, that they might learn much more than if they just went to a class.
It would be a learning
So,
experience.
right, they were getting experience from people that were in the music industry or going to be in the music industry, and it really it clicked, and it was a radio station that played what they then called alternative music, broke a lot of bands, Metallica, Nirvana, uh, um, trying to think of some of the other bands that it broke. Unfortunately, but some big bands, Four Non Blondes. First time anybody ever heard the Four Non Blondes. Um, and a song "What's Going On" was on KUSF. I remember there used to be outside the studio. It was a guy named Germ had a demo show, and people used to send demo tapes from all over to the Germ show. He did it on Sunday night, and the best of the Germ show was racked up in these carts that were outside the studio. And the Four Non Blondes were at the top of the cart because they were in alphabetical order. So, um, so when you needed something to plug in really quick because your record was running down, you didn't have time
There
to
it
get into the
was.
library and grab
Grab it.
the next thing. There it was. What's going
Ready to
on?
go.
Boom, bing. So it got max airplay. Whoever came up with the name Four Non Blondes knew what they were doing with the four in the front.
Yeah, right.
And it was a great place. It was a great dedicated bunch of people. Nobody was getting paid. It was all volunteer. And it stole the heart of San Francisco. One year, for several years on that station, I did on Super Bowl Sunday, I did a baseball music special.
Right.
So we started out with an hour, went to finally when we finished up, it was 4 hours of just music about baseball. We gave away a car. The big station in town, Camel, KMEL, was giving away a Porsche and $10,000. So we gave away an Audi with a roll of dimes to call AAA in the ashtray because it was an old Audi and it was broken down and it just was barely running. But hey, we were the only college station that we knew about that gave away a car, and we actually won the Ben Fong Torres, who was a writer in San Francisco is a writer and used to write a radio column, gave us the Promo of the Year award because we came up, and from what I understand, a few assholes got tightened over at KMEL. they had sunk all this money into this promotion to give away this car, and here comes little college station KUSF.
Giving away a beater, and it worked.
And it worked. It was it was amazing. It was an amazing place. It was a great incubator of talent. It was a special time.
Richard Gossett would do a show there. Bobby Dale would do a show there. Over the years, a number of
we used to do an oldie show on Friday night. Guy who originally did it, Mike Schweitzer, has passed. But when he got married, he didn't want to do the show anymore, so I took the show over. I filled in for him a number of times, and so I took the show over. So on Friday night at midnight, we did an oldie show for 3 hours.
Did you ever play Sha-Na-Na?
We didn't play Sha-Na-Na that much because Sha-Na-Na was oldies, but it wasn't oldies.
Right.
It was a new, at that time they had a it was post-television show, but no, we played the real stuff. I mean, my collection, which I still have most of, was a pretty formidable oldies collection. And we played a lot of doo-wop. And then every month we would have one night where we did Club 90. And it was a Club 90 or Club 903? I think it was Club 903 actually. And we did disco for 3 hours. And this was before anybody was thinking about reviving disco. This was 80, I don't know, 84, 85, 86. When that phone would light up because disco was popular in the gay community, and San Francisco had a large gay community. And so we would have probably our biggest listenership. One of our biggest listenerships was on Friday night at midnight. The nights that we did Club 90.4, Club 903. So it'll be really good to see those people. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, or no, 6 o'clock, the old people from KJR and the Sonics are going to get together and meet up out in Redmond, and we will look at each other and say, "My, how you haven't changed," and I'll be lying. because everybody changes in 30 years. And this is the group of Sonics and employees that were associated with KJR.
You think Rick Scott's going to come?
I hope so. I don't know. You know, I haven't seen the final list. I'm kind of letting it be a surprise.
Right.
I know Janet Maggleby's coming. I know that I don't think Tom Lee is coming. But
John
when
Hunter?
the Sonics were and KJR were one, we had a pretty tight bunch of people, and so it'll be interesting to see who comes, who doesn't come. Rick Turner, I think, will be there. Janet Magleby, I talked to her already. She's in town. She'll be there. I don't know if Linda Connors is coming. I don't know if, but a large enough group is coming. So I'll have plenty of pictures to post tomorrow when I'm winging my way towards San Francisco.
Good. Yeah, you got a busy weekend. You got a busy flashback weekend.
I hope I can make it through the whole weekend.
Undoubtedly,
it's gonna be a nostalgia weekend, that's for sure. So it'll be fun. Like I say, it'll be fun to see most of the people. Probably be a few people that won't be that much fun. I hope that I think Gastineau is coming to the KJR reunion. I don't know about Graz. You know, he's sick, so I don't know if there's I don't know if he's getting out of the house much or not. I hope he does. I hope he is there. Trying to think of. I know the Babe is not going to be there. I don't think. I think from the air staff, myself and Gastineau are probably going to be the only people there, unless Graz shows up. You know, Wall's not going to come. I don't think Mitch will come. Maybe he will. I don't know. You don't see much of Mitch anymore, except in his, online thing. But I guess there's a lot of hard feelings there, obviously. And so that's my schedule for the weekend. It'll be good to be on the road.
Bob Case might come.
Yeah, I think because he was part of the 190 group. I hope Kenny Beiersdorf comes, who is my producer and update guy. Johnny Paisno, another guy that was one of my producers. John Hunter. I hope he shows up. He's one of our producers. Pat Haller. Be great to see him. You know, I just don't know. I don't know how many of these people they uncovered. I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to be more Sonics people than it is KJR people. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to fall that way. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the KJR people are equally as represented. Terry Reed, I know, was sent an invitation.
Uh-huh.
It's always good to see Terry. Sherry White, I think, may show up. After that, I don't know. I'll I should probably look at the show. Well, I don't want to look until I go. I want to be kind of surprised by who I see there. And surprised by who I don't see there. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that I won't see there. It'll surprise me as well.
Well, there was just no way that I could work it into the events that we have family-wise. My granddaughter, Kennedy Quinn Musha, is Rizzo in Greece this weekend. and that's a big deal. She worked hard for that. She wanted that part. She got it, and she's going to do a great job.
Nice. Now, are you going to? Is there going to be video of this that I could watch, or?
Yeah, we'll send you some highlights. And Boaster Toaster Bradley Knight Musha got recognized by his team. He was led the team in runs scored and was a part of every rally that the team had during the entire season, and was noted for his ballet-like, extraordinary, physically improbable knots that he ties himself into while he plays the infield. The kid's got moves that are unusual for baseball, and they're remarkably all his own. So I'm very proud of both of them. And that's where I'm going to be putting my energy this weekend. So for the folks at KJR, I have fond memories of you. Have a great weekend. Say nice things to Vinnie, make him cry, and have a good weekend. Have a good show.
It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, you have a good weekend too as well. Watching moments that you can't miss.
Right.
You know,
Precisely.
I mean that's to see the kids perform like that, and the grandkids perform like that.
The Commodore's job. The Commodore has.
Yes. I'm surprised you're not wearing your Commodore hat today.
Well, this is the one I grabbed.
Oh man. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to the ride down. And I can't do. I used to do the drive in one day, and I can't do it in one day anymore.
Too much tequila. Yeah, it takes the fun out of it.
Well, I don't know about tequila, but I don't. It's yeah. You just have to. Nowadays, I have to stop halfway, so I'll be stopping in Wairika. Hopefully, I'll have a place for me to stay. If not,
not my Eureka, not your Eureka, but Eureka. Wairika.
No, Wairika. Why is the question that's always asked.
And never answered.
And never answered. So it's interesting. Anyway.
Interesting time for two radio stations that you were involved with to be doing their memory weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting that they were put.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Interesting that they were put. That they wound up. I'm just looking at something. Interesting that they were put together. And that they wound up being almost on consecutive days.
They couldn't be two stations more different from one another.
Yeah, but it was certainly one that prepared me for the other. I mean, I got an education at KUSF that I couldn't have gotten anywhere else. I mean, I just don't.
That type of station did not exist in profusion. There weren't that many. I'm thinking of the one WFUV. Is that
yeah.
That's the calls, I think, in New York.
There were FUV and there was WFMV and I think it was Florida. I mean, there was enough stations that the Gavin newspaper, the Industry Bible for many years, gave out awards to the college station of the year. As a matter of fact, KUSF won, I want to say 86, 87, 88. I think we won it 3 times in a row. As a matter of fact, I have in my stuff, and I feel bad that I didn't get back to Pittsburgh to get it. Copies, they were made available, copies of those awards. And I bought them. Like I said, this is something that you're going to want to have.
Right.
I will someday have to sell them, but but everything's going to be gone anyway. You can't take it all with you.
Many have tried.
But yeah, people have tried, but it's pretty exciting. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be there. And the Gavin Awards were, something that was really a group effort. I mean, from the DJs to the record people uh, to the music director to the program director to the guy that ran the whole thing that was on faculty at USF and fought for us for so many. I mean, you can't imagine how many times Father Lo Schiavo, who was the head of USF at the time, wanted to shut down KUSF. I mean, they finally did.
Yes, they did.
But it there was a constant battle because we played, hardcore punk music on that station. We played stuff that
groundbreaking tunes, one after the other.
Yeah, groundbreaking stuff that people hadn't heard before, and a lot of it was anti-church, anti-Catholic, anti-this, anti-that, and it didn't sit well with the people that ran the station, but that held a license to the station. But the guy that was running the station, the faculty guy that was running the station, Steve Runyon, was able to craft a coalition of different programming, cultural programming in the evening. The funniest thing is KUSF would be hardcore, great music, very similar to what is it here? KEXP here, very, very similar. Except at KUSF at 6:00, they had a contract to simulcast the news from Channel 7, except in Chinese. So at 6:00, you'd go from the Ramones, or you'd go from Stiv Bators, or you'd go from, something hardcore, the Minutemen, D. Boone, the Minutemen. You go into this Chinese guy doing the news. Yep. And that was an hour and a half show. And then 7:30, we'd come back with cultural programming. And that was a great program because lots of people had cultural shows that I don't know if you remember Harry Duncan, who used to do a lot of the music, programming the music for Slims. He had a blues show on Saturday on Tuesday night. That was one of the best blues shows in the area. And I was honored a couple of times to sit in for him when he couldn't do the show. And to me, that was, I mean, you talk about the honor of one of the honors of a lifetime. But he, it was what taught me to be professional. I mean, that's why when I walked into KKCY and did my first on-air stuff at KKCY, I was ready. I mean, that station was run, the music parts of it were run like a professional station. I remember that one of the things that I did was when I first started there, and one of the things that got me in good with people is that I agreed to be the Saturday morning board operator. It was a job. I mean, you got paid for it, which was one of the few paying jobs at KUSF. And I used to on Saturday morning. The funniest thing was that they had cultural programming in foreign languages, and so at 11:00 you had the Armenian Haskayam hour.
Of course you do.
Then at 12 You had the Turkish hour,
The Armenians and the Turks back to back.
back to back. And my job, and the reason I think I was hired for this, is that I had to get the Armenians out of the studio before the Turks got there,
Without any events taking place.
without without discussion or consultation.
And they weren't above an exchange of views, a frank
And they were
exchange of
slow
views.
movers.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to where I used to actually open the door and send the Armenians out through Studio C, so, and let the Turks in through Studio A. So it would give us you're not going to see this yet, because they just didn't like each other. They had differing point of views on many, if not everything,
Everything.
everything. So we figured, but we figured out a system to get one out, one in, and one out, and it worked pretty well. Then we had a Pakistani show that was hosted by a woman, Raina, and this was 350 pounds of Pakistani woman, and she was and she had a very traditional show, but she says, Vinny, I gotta hip up my show a little bit. So she says to me, "Can you do an open for me?" And I said, "Sure." So I took the theme from Magnum PI and did a
Being
bum
being
bum bum
they're
bum bum
being
bum bum.
It's the root of Pakistani culture in the Bay Area. Magnum PI.
This is a Pakistani cultural hour. Oh my God. It was so funny. It was great. We also had the Swedish cultural hour, which was very cool. These two old people that did they were probably in their 80s, 70s or 80s, and they would come in and they would play the Rolf, and I can't remember his wife's name, but they would come in and they would do the play the polka music and organ stuff, and have all of the cultural events for the Nordic community on Saturday morning. And it was kind of cool because you felt like you were. I mean, yeah, radio was about rock and roll and this and that, really, but really, what radio was about was giving these communities that would have no place to go and do a show, a place to, now it's all on the internet, but then radio was how you communicated with people, and to me, that was always a really cool thing to be a
And
part of that.
KUSF for a color station had a pretty good signal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it got up and down it got over to Berkeley, it got up into Marin, it got down to San Mateo. It was better. Signal was better than Calix, which was University of California station, which I had worked at for a short time also. Um, Still got my Calix press pass. I was going through some old radio stuff that I actually took with me. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. It was,
Did you
you
cover
know,
sports for Calix?
I did. I covered sports for Calix, sports for KUSF. As a matter of fact, I did when the USF basketball program came back. I was for the first year. I was the play-by-play guy. Didn't know much about play-by-play in basketball, but I figured it out. So we did the games, and I did the first year of the return of USF basketball with
It used to be quite a storied program.
It was, and then
with Will Chamberlain on their list of great
Bill
players.
Russell, Will Chamberlain, Bill Cartwright, and then a guy named Quentin Daly brought it all down.
Yeah, the USF Dons.
The USF Dons, still a pretty good. They're not what they once were, but they're still a fun team to watch. When I'm down there in this basketball season, I try to catch a Dons game. So that'll be a lot of fun. That will be. I'm really looking forward to that. We got yeah, we got we'll have some fun this weekend, I think.
The fate of KUSF was sort of sudden, maybe not
Yeah.
unexpected, but not exactly predicted either, when they sold it into an ownership management deal with KUSC taking part of the responsibility, and they went classical, which was a hole in the market and understandable, but it was hurtful too.
Well, a lot of people felt betrayed. A lot of people felt that
But the university had gotten its way at long last.
Right, that the university got its way, um, that they had just had enough of that kind of music and that kind of atmosphere and that kind of insanity going on there. There was some crazy stuff that went on there during the music programming, but it put USF on the map radio wise. But things were getting more conservative. There was a new, more conservative administration there, and the school was facing some money problems, I guess.
Let's sell this thing and just take the dough.
Let's take the dough. And, it always made me laugh because, as we know, who listens to radio for classical music anymore? The stations that have gone that were classical have gone mostly by the wayside because people want uninterrupted Vivaldi, I guess. They want no commercials in their Vivaldi. And with the advent, of course, of streaming and so on and so forth, there is a substitute station. There is a KSXFS or something that is done. But what is interesting here is that KEZX here is it KEZ? I keep saying KEZX.
KEXP.
KEXP, thank you. KEXP here is simulcast in San Francisco at 90.3. Now, I don't know how they worked that deal out, but they worked the deal out. And so I guess the classical music wasn't, but now they simulcast on both. And both of them at 90.3 FM. So they get the music, they just don't get the local DJs, the local flavor, the local stuff that used to go on there, the band interviews and the local talent. And that's a loss because KUSF broke a lot of bands. KUSF had a lot of musicians in. Chris Isaac got his start at KUSF, getting played on KUSF. Jerry Shelfer got his start at KUSF. A lot of those bands. Howie Klein did a show on KUSF for many, 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 many years. And one of the things I'm looking forward to is on Sunday night, there's going to be a reading from Howie's upcoming book.
What's it called?
And wow, I can't remember the name. Boy, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but it's got a good name too. Let me see.
Of course it does.
But
it's about his career in music.
Yeah. Howie, for those who don't know, Howie was a guy from New York like me who got to San Francisco and got involved in the music business, started his own label. His label was bought out by Warner, and he became an executive at Sire Records and broke a lot of bands. Deborah Ayal, Romeo Void, Translator, some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. All big bands on the alternative scene. And Howie came down with cancer a couple of years ago, passed away last year. And we did something on it when he passed.
Yes, we did.
And was a pioneer in the music business, was also an activist, and and somebody who had taken deep offense to the administration that's in play right now, and wasn't afraid to use his platform, whatever platform he had, to talk about it, to say it, to advise people, to tell people.
I got two cats that are fighting. Hold on a second. Stop it. Sorry, Ben.
That's okay. It's a little wrestling match is good for the.
They're brothers, and brothers, as you know, sometimes get into it.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen them fight. They've been relatively calm. They must be excited about the KUSF reunion.
They're very much looking forward to it. They used to curl up next to the radio and listen faithfully.
It'd be interesting to see. The KJR reunion is tonight, and there will listen. KJR was a hell of a time, man. We had for the 3.5 years that we did our show there, which was grossly mismanaged by those in charge. We proved that you could do a morning show in sports, and didn't have to resort to beer and breasts and lowest common denominator radio.
Buffoonery.
Right. The asshole stuff that.
Well, we thought that we could take the elements of successful programming from all different formats and use it in sports radio.
Right. And it worked. It worked until the people that ran the station decided that they wanted that guy talk was going to be the way to go. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the short version, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it was, and I always thought the changing KJR. I don't know if anybody else saw it the way I saw it, but the changing KJR happened when everybody got cell phones. It seemed that when everybody got cell phones, all of a sudden the whole thing was different. all of a sudden, somehow, it just all changed. Maybe egos got different. Maybe the success of what we did with the stadiums got to us. Maybe the success of the Sonics at the time got to people.
Well, it was fascinating that one thing that was steady was that every team in Seattle went into jeopardy while we were on the air. Football, baseball, basketball,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
somebody had
Although,
to lose, and it was just sad that it was the Sonics that were the ones who went down.
yeah, it was. Although Sonics really happened after I'd gone to Cairo.
Yes,
Uh,
the market continued to fluctuate.
as a matter of fact, I don't know if you remember this, but the last year of the Sonics were not on KJR. They were on KTTH.
Oh, the Tacoma.
It was Cairo's. It was what is now their hot talk station. But at the time, no, in fact, it was a hot talk station then. But somehow they made a better deal to get the Sonic. They got the Sonics away with Howard Schultz. They got the Sonics away from not Howard Schultz. Clay Pigeon there, whatever his name is, Clay Bennett. They made a deal with KTTH. They threw some more money at him, and they moved the station off of the Sonics, off of KJR. And because I did a number of the pre and post game shows, with Kevin Calabro and Francis Williams. Well, I don't know if you had known, but yeah, that final year of the Sonics, there, final 2 years maybe. Yeah, because I wasn't on the air. The 2007 is when I left Cairo, and they left in 2008 or 2009, I forget. But anyway, the final 2 years of the Sonics were on KTTH.
And what sort of seasons were those for the Sonics?
Not very good. Midland.
Hmm.
You know, they traded Peyton. They kept, they kept Vin Baker for a while. They traded Peyton. You know, the core of the team was gone. They had a couple of decent players, but it wasn't the same as it was. Those years of 93 to 2005, 2006 were or even before that. But those the late 90s were the golden years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, once Sean Kemp left, Gary stayed, and then George left. Once George left, it all really fell apart. It was never the same. The people weren't the same. We moved over to they had moved over to Elliott Avenue, and just the whole thing was never the same.
Yeah.
Once they were sold to Howard Schultz, they were never the same either. There was 1 year where it kind of felt the same, and they had done well. They had made the playoffs, I think, and then, but Schultz was such a hands-on owner.
Well, he was a coffee man, and he made it clear that basketball was not his main interest. And he was the owner, but he wasn't interested in being a winner.
Well, I think he was interested in being a winner. I would dispute that. I would say that he was, but he just had different ideas on how to do it. And he had somebody who was running it in Wally Walker that wasn't really going to say anything to him, was going to do it his way. But, you know, when Bob Whitsitt, I wonder if he'll be there tonight. That would be good to see Bob Whitsitt and Jan Whitsitt. There was, Whitsitt basically told Barry Ackley, you stay out of it. And Barry, for the most part, stayed out of it. As a matter of fact, he stayed out of it so much that he started to mess with us. And,
Yes, he did.
The famous Gateway incident.
That was weird. That was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it was really stupid. It was a total power play. It was everything that people had warned me about working in commercial radio. They said that you're gonna, and I had a couple of experiences like that in Seattle and in Pittsburgh.
Where the account becomes toxic.
Yeah. Where it just, it just the money takes precedence over everything. But
common
you know what?
sense.
In the case of the Gateway thing, it wasn't even money.
No, it was just influence.
It was just, it was the ability to say, I own you. It was the ability to point to something and say, I own it. I'm going to run it my way. And not considering that it was such a good thing for everybody that was involved. That it was wild. But for those who don't know, we had cut a commercial for the Gateway Health Club, and the owner of the team had worked out at the health club, and at some point had seen the commercial on TV that his station sold. It was on his station, and he hit the ceiling about it. He didn't like it. I guess nobody had really come to him and said to him, well, we're going to do this. And he was a very hands-on owner. And he hit the roof. He said, I got contracts with these guys. I don't want them on advertising the health club.
Where he worked out too.
Where he worked out.
And he was getting personal attention there to deal with a man his age and his condition. And he had a personal trainer dedicated to making sure he got a good workout and enjoyed the benefits of his time in the club.
It was one of the dumbest things I'd ever seen.
Well, it was shocking. It just didn't make good sense.
It made no sense. And but he had signed contracts for our personal services, and he had the right to say, you don't do the commercial. And he decided to exercise that right.
The funny thing was, there wasn't another account that was hot on our heels, taking up that spot and filling in that void.
No, it was a. I mean, I remember they were paying for that time. It wasn't, it wasn't. I mean, they wanted to be associated with us. We were a hot thing at the time, and
the
they
spots
wanted
were
to
clever.
Yeah, spots were great. I wonder if I can. Let's see. But everything was hunky dory until
So we thought.
Yeah. But then, as so often happens,
reality raises its ugly head.
everything isn't what you thought. Everything.
What you were thinking turned out to be not what you thought.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm just looking on. I'm looking to see if I know I put
That
that
spot is in your
on YouTube.
library.
Yeah, I know it's in there somewhere. I'm just trying to see if it's close to the top. If I can find it. Uh, I've got so much stuff on this channel, which is good. It's good to have content. It's funny. I was just telling somebody about this spot the other night, and Mikey, we've done a lot of shows, pal.
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah, we've got a pretty full catalog of stuff here. As I scroll down
The greatest hits package.
yeah, we'll be leaving a wait, no, that's not it. No. Come on, I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, one thing for sure, when I drop dead, there'll be a lot of videotape of me. It's weird. It's not coming up for some reason.
Maybe Barry got to your library.
It wouldn't freaking surprise me.
Did a little housekeeping.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought about it. It's funny. I mean, I didn't think it was that long ago that I put it up because I actually only found it not too long ago. But anyway, I won't bore us with that was a really that was a bizarre
Chapter.
But we had again, Mikey, we did a show that was we had fun. I mean, I remember writing and doing all my Seahawks with you, and that was just that's when the Seahawks seemed like every week they would be somebody was getting in trouble.
All my Seahawks.
All my Seahawks. All right. I don't even know what. Let's see. All right. Well,
have a good trip. Have a good trip to the Bay Area. Say hello to all my old haunts.
I will.
Have fun with the KUSF people and the KJR people, and give them my best.
I will. And then I will. I'll probably see you Monday. I will let you know if we have a show Monday, and if not,
Friday we're taking off for sure.
We're taking off. Friday we're going to take off for sure. So Donald Trump, don't do anything stupid between now and we're back on Wednesday.
I think Pete Heck says it's his turn to do something stupid, and he's going to have that wave taken out of his hair. He's going to have his hair straightened, and he's going to be beautiful.
What a maroon.
That's exactly what I was going to
absolute
say.
maroon.
What a maroon.
What a maroon. All right, listen, everybody. You have a safe weekend. I will catch up with you as Michael will next week. And
watch out, Vinny's going to be on the freeway this weekend. So take your life in
yeah,
your
stay
own
off of the
hands.
freeway, please. Stay off of the roads. I gotta get through.
I got
Peace,
places.
love,
He's
and
got places.
gratitude.
He's going someplace, and you got to get there. Get out of the way. Get
Gotta
the hell
get
out of
there.
the road. Have a good one, Vin. Drive safely.
All right, Mikey. Take care. See you on next week if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine, baby. Stay off the road.
All right. Be good.